today, guys?
We're doing great.
Good, good, good. All right. Everybody take out your Chromebooks? All right. For y'all's class, this will probably be the last day that I ask y'all to say the numbers on y'all's desk. I'll keep this in case any of you forget which seat you sit in, and we'll keep the numbers on the desk. But I think y'all all know what desks to go to by now for the most part. Okay. Hassam. Hassam. Oh, that's the wrong roll. There we go. Okay. Cohen. 22. Good. Nicholas. 25. Good. Zuri.
9.
Good. Trekezia is not here. Elizabeth. 5. Noel. 4. Jalea.
13.
Good. Micah. Is he not here again? Okay. Ruby. 20. Trinity. 1. Takiri.
12.
Good. Colby.
11.
Good. Christopher. 2. Good. Eric. 17. Good. Serenity.
16.
Good. Derek. Good. Trey.
7.
Good. Caden.
14.
Good. And Jeremiah. 19. Good. All right. So it looks like we're missing Micah and Trekezia. Okay. All right, so while I write these two names down, everybody just go ahead and open up your Chromebook and hang tight for just a second. We are going to do something very similar to the other day, but hold on, I'll explain it once I write this. Can you take this? You know where the attendance office is? Okay, so the front door, left side. Yes. You need to charge Chromebook? Yes.
Which row make you more money?
What is that?
All right. So you need to charge Chromebook. You can sit there, or yeah, but there's a lot of people there. You can sit there, or I guess you can sit at that desk in the back if you want. There's a charger, or there's a plug-in back there. Okay, guys, so I know y'all are tired of doing pre-tests, but we have one left to do. Yes, sir. Okay, you need to go to Chroma. EBR Chroma. Guys, if any of y'all are having trouble connecting to the Wi-Fi, it's EBR Chroma, okay? It'll show a locked thing, but that's the one that you log into, okay? It shouldn't make you type in a password or anything. Yes? For Google Classroom? Yes, sir. There's the class code for Google Classroom for everybody. All right. So, as I was saying, the last pre-test that we took was for the whole school year, remember? and it had, what, about 17 questions on it, and it was for the whole school year. And we're not gonna see that test again until the end of the year, okay? This pre-test is much shorter, and it's just for the unit that we're on right now, Unit 1, okay? And it's only about 9 questions. It's not gonna take y'all as long, okay? It's about 9 questions, and it's just about Unit 1. So the stuff that we've been talking about, okay? Early humans, how climate and geography affected the migration of early humans, and you know, everything that we haven't covered yet in Unit 1. So a little bit, you know, we have covered, and you guys should know, but some of it is going to be stuff that we haven't talked about. So just like the other one, it's going to be material you haven't seen yet, but it's going to show me what I need to work on with you guys, okay? So same rules apply as the last pre-test, and I'm about to pull up the link. Are there any questions? Nope? Okay. All right, so, wrong button. All right, so just, you guys have 2 options, all right? The 2 options are, you can go under the announcements in Google Classroom, and you can click the link to the pre-test, or you can go to illuminate.online and type that in the search bar rather, and you can type in this code, and that will bring you to the pre-test, okay? So those are the 2 ways that you can access the pre-test. Once you get there, you need to type in your school login, and for some people, you'll be able to type in just your school login, but for a lot of you, you'll need to type in, I'll write it on the board, you'll need to type in @ebrschools.org or org.org. That ORG stands for organization, okay, so org. Sorry, I didn't notice that you don't have a Chromebook, or you guys need to get onto the desktops, okay? Hey, Trey, can you move to desk 8 for today so that he's not so cramped right there? All right. That will just take a second to load up. This one's ready to go. Look, guys, please, whenever you're done with this, don't turn the computer off, okay? All right, is anybody having trouble logging into the test? All right. Yeah, go. All right. You know your login. Okay. Guys, if I ever post anything on Google Classroom in like the announcements or classwork, anything, and you don't see it there immediately, click the refresh button, okay? that refresh button will just refresh the page and it'll almost always fix the problem, okay? Because a lot of times when I add it, you have the page already open and it just doesn't work, I guess. I don't know exactly how to explain that, okay? Yeah. Do you not know your login, bud? Okay. Did you try? Did you put the at evrschools.org? Okay, so you want to put at EVR schools, no, SCHOOLS.org. There you go. And that should work. Okay? Yes. Yes. Because it's EVR schools. We have to put it at the end. Yes, ma'am. All right. How we doing? Does anybody else need help?
It's only 9 questions.
What's there?
It's only.
This is obviously the opposite order that we would typically do things, but I wanted y'all to go ahead and get the pre-test done first today, just so we could, get it out of the way. The bell ringer is what I want you to work on after you finish your pre-test, okay? And then we'll go over it and we'll, get rolling with our normal class, okay? You guys have about 7 minutes left on the timer for the pre-test. So that should be plenty of time for you to get finished. And the bell ringer, what I wanted to talk to you about is under bell ringers for today. It's bell ringer 8/19/2021. Okay, and it is it's a two-parter. Okay, there's 2 parts. Which of these definitions do you think best matches the word civilization? And in your own words, describe what you think a civilization is. Okay? So, 2-part bell ringer. The first part, obviously, you can just circle one of them, or just underline it, whatever. You don't have to write anything. But the second part does require a little bit of writing. Okay? Easy peasy. Any questions on how to do the bell ringer or what to do? Good. So that is it, and y'all can go ahead and finish up your test. When you're done with the bell ringer, just turn it in. Yes, sir. Did we in this class start the near pod? I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Okay, good. I didn't think we started it at all. We're good. We're good. Okay, so I was just making sure. All right, guys, about 5 more minutes. Once you finish that test and the bell ringer, this is the Nearpod code. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, Bill, I won't have to use it, right? You don't have to use it, no? Yeah, okay. Earpods? You could get to it from there. Yeah, just type earpod right there. There you go. I'm not I, I'm sorry, N, ear, like N-E-A-R. There it is. I think it's that one, the middle one. There you go. Yeah, and just type in that code. Yes, ma'am. Okay, raise your hand if you're done with the test and the bell ringer. Raise your hand if you're done with the test. Okay, when I say that, I mean, I need everybody to raise their hand if they're done with the test, but not the bell ringer. Okay, that wasn't the same people at all. All right, I guess I'll just walk around and see. You're still working on the test. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're still working. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're still working. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're still working. And you're done. Okay, so only about 4 y'all left. I'll give y'all like 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes, because there's a couple more people still working on their bell ringer. Let's see how many we've got working on their bell ringer. Yeah, we've still got some people turning in their bell ringers, so I'm gonna give y'all a few more minutes. And we'll get started. Yes, Kyra. Yeah, no, just hang out right there for a second, okay? That's what we're gonna be going through. Yeah. Look, you can highlight it and click the underline button if you want, or you can bold it, you can do whatever you want. You can highlight it. Oh, let me switch back to it, sorry. That's the nearby code. So the fourtha. Yes, Serenity. What? Okay, so what are you confused about? Okay, so which of these definitions do you think best matches the word civilization? What are you confused about? Huh? Why doesn't it make sense? You have to give me more than that word. Huh? No, you understand what I'm saying? Which of these definitions, each one, you need to pick one of these. You need to pick one of these, A, B, C, or D, that you think matches the word civilization. Do you get it now? Was that what you were confused about? No. Yes. 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 Let me get my, yeah. Here, you come up here. Okay, guys, you got one more minute. All right. Start wrapping her up. Wrapping her up. I'm gonna check, make sure. All right. Here we go. All right, guys. So, the people around the world need to know what's going on in the world. So we can know what stuff is made out of, how did it get there, and how it was made. All right, geography is important because we learn about the earth. We learn about elements like the earth, like water, fire, and rocks. Need to know about what's going on in the world. You can know about the resources all around you. It's part of the history of the world. It's part of the natural world to understand. Yes? Okay. Good job, guys. Very good. Okay? Let's move on. All right. So, on the following two slides, we're going to look at what are going to look like very different areas. Okay? When you first look at them, you're going to think these places don't have anything in common. All right? At least that's what I did when I saw them. Okay? But what I want you to do is, I want you to really think about it, and I want you to really think about what they do have in common. Okay? Because there are a few things that they do have in common in terms of geography. All right? And I want y'all to try and figure those things out. Okay?
Okay.
And think about, you know, in terms of landforms, the climate, and are they populated or not populated, okay? All right, here's the first place. So what do we see? Somebody raise their hand. What do you see, bud? Okay, lots of rocks. What do you see? Dry, okay. What about you, bud?
I see water and mountains and sand.
Water, mountains, and sand. Colby?
I see all types of rocks with like a river right by it.
Okay, all types of rocks with a river right by it.
It looks kind of like the desert.
Okay, kind of like the desert. Let me ask y'all something else. What do y'all think, if this was, you know, if humans were, if you were an early tribe of humans and you were searching for a place to build your village, is this a place where you'd want to build your village?
No.
Trey.
No, not really.
Okay. Why not?
Because it's like really high and I don't really know where. It's hard. Well, I know, but it's hard to explain.
Okay. Okay. But
There are not enough natural things, man.
not enough natural resources.
Not a lot of animals.
Not enough natural resources, not enough animals. Good, good.
But they got water.
But they have water. Yes, they have water. Good. Yeah. What? You can stare at the sun in this picture, can't you? All right. Good. And also, looking at this picture, we can't really tell. This water's probably fresh water, but that water might not be safe to drink.
It might be.
I don't know. Something to me looks funny about that water. I don't know. I don't trust it.
Oh, it looks too blue and green.
Okay, and here's the next picture.
I would not live here. Do you see how much people have masks on?
This was before COVID.
Well, never mind. This is somewhere in China. I'm totally staying here.
There's people going on a date.
This is somewhere in China. Oh, this is my home.
No, look. No. Look.
It's not home. But it's kind of
All right. Shh. Okay, so, first off, what are some things you notice about this place? All right. There's a lot of trees. Okay.
A lot of buildings.
Wait, what?
A lot of buildings.
There's a lot of buildings. Okay. What about more of the natural stuff? Trinity. You gotta stop stretching like that. I never know if you're raising your hand. Colby.
There's like a lot of people bunched up together in one place.
There are a lot of people bunched up together in one place. Okay.
There's so many buildings.
Tell me your name again.
Derek.
Derek. Okay, Derek.
There's so many buildings and waters, and there's somebody that the green house.
Okay, there's a big waterway. Once again, there's a lot of buildings. Okay, tell me a little bit more about the natural stuff. Okay. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say like why can't we do it? That's what
What?
I was gonna say why can't we do it?
Why can't you live there?
No, like if I was the early people there, I would like to live there.
Oh.
I was gonna answer my own.
Oh, okay. We'll get there in a sec. Yeah.
There's a lot of pollution.
It looks like that maybe, or we don't really know. We don't have enough information. It could just be about terrain. All right. Yeah.
There's a big river.
There is. There's a huge river, right? And so if you were an early group of settlers, what? Okay. Yes.
I wouldn't live there because they would have a lot of landslide. I can tell that because over the hills.
You think they would have a lot of landslides? Okay. Does anybody else feel differently? What do you think if you were trying to set up a village and you came to this area? Do you think this would be a good or a bad place to live? Raise your hand. Okay, Serenity. Somewhat good place to live. Why is that?
Because if you live at the top of the mountain, then you won't get affected as much by landslides.
Okay, all right. Hey, how about this? Disregarding landslides, which you're right, could happen. What are some pros about this place that would
there are a lot of technology.
well, no, I'm talking about thousands of years ago before the technology.
They got boats.
Huh?
They have a river.
They have the river. What else?
Oh, they can hunt your advisor because it looks like a forest.
Yeah, it looks like they have a lot of vegetation, which leads us to believe they probably have a lot of wildlife. Okay, so those are some definite advantages of this area. Okay, and if you notice in this picture, what's the big difference between these two areas? What did people do? Okay, what did people do? Is there a big city in that last picture?
No.
No, but there's a big city in this picture. So what does that tell us? That tells us that people decided at some point that this area, this geographical area, this climate, this geographical area was a better place to settle than that last place. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, so now all you need to do is type 1, but what is something that is similar about both places? Type it. Hey, get off those rabbits. Yes, ma'am? Easier? Hello. How are you? Have a seat, take a seat. Okay, so you got Chromebook? Okay. Just go ahead and take it out. Alright, do you think you can be on time for homeroom tomorrow? Okay, so I'm not gonna did you do that other pre-test with us? The one that I gave y'all on Tuesday? Were you here in class on Tuesday? Okay. start working on what we're working on right now. You may wanna catch up on the bell ringers before if you haven't done them, because we've done 3 bell ringers so far this week. I don't know if we did one last week, so far this week, and, remember, every, 10 bell ringers, I grade them, and that should be an easy 20 points, okay, so you don't wanna get behind with those, alright? This is the Nearpod code, if you wanna join the Nearpod. Wait, did you guys share them?
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's a waiting for a move.
Oh,
Let's go.
I thought I clicked no. I'll let everybody get their stuff out first. Does anybody need a pencil? Okay. You also can take your notes in Google Docs, remember. You need a piece of paper? Alright. Everybody raise your hand if you need a pencil. 1, 2. Raise your hand if you need a piece of paper. 1, 2. Okay, so 2 pencils. Was that you?
No. I don't need it.
Hey, wait, do you not need paper anymore, guys?
I don't need it.
You need paper? No. Do you not need paper anymore? Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. So, the first essential element involves looking at the world in terms of location. Location means the placement of people and objects relative to each other. There are 2 kinds of locations. Absolute location, which is the placement of something in terms of latitude and longitude. What is latitude? Somebody tell me. Raise your hand. Serenity. Okay, what does it measure? Tell me in terms of amount. Just tell me in terms of the cardinal directions.
Up and down. North and south?
North and south. Good. Latitude measures north and south. What does longitude measure? Serenity. East and west. Perfect. Okay. So absolute location. The easiest way for you guys to think about this, at least to me, is GPS coordinates. Okay? Have you guys ever seen those numbers that show up on a GPS coordinates? And what do those numbers look like? What do they typically, you know, how do they read? What do they say?
270.
Okay, no, that you're thinking of something else. So if they have the latitude and longitude on them, so they have, you know, they have either the north or south, and they have either the east and they have the east or west on them. What do they say? I know you guys have seen this before at some point, and they're telling you exactly where something is. Okay, so have you guys ever seen when you look up where something is on your phone or whatever, there's a little number somewhere that's going to say something like maybe 100 N for north, and then 35 W for west. Have you guys ever seen that?
No, I have that on the GPS in my life.
Okay, well I promise you that it's there. And that is telling you that it's at 100 degrees north, 35 degrees west. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. If it were to say 150S 30E, what would that mean?
150
Okay. And what?
south.
What?
85 eastern 57.
Good. Yeah, I think I said 30, but yes. Okay? So that is absolute location. It's telling me absolutely, exactly, I think it should say exact location, but it's absolute. It's telling me absolutely where something is on the globe, okay? In terms of latitude and longitude. So you guys ever heard the term X marks the spot?
Yeah.
All right, so think of the latitude and longitude lines as making an X, okay? Because that's really what they're doing. They're crossing over at 100 north and 35 west, and that's where I am, okay, in this scenario. They're crossing over, and that is exactly where I am. And that is what absolute location is, okay? There's no, that is the exact location of something. Does that make sense? Okay, relative location, which is the next one, is the placement of something in terms of how far it is to something else. So that is if you were to say, yeah, I live about a mile away from the school, or I live down the street from the school. That's whenever you say you are so far from something else. Okay? Does that make sense? Relative location is describing where you're at in terms of something else. Okay? Do you see what I'm saying? So if you were to ask me, where is Mr. Diaz's classroom? I could say, oh, it's right across the hall from Mr. Oakland's classroom. And that is giving you a relative location. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay? Or I could say, oh, it's right down the hall from my classroom. You see what I'm saying? Okay. That is a relative location. But if I were to say, if I were to look up the coordinates on the earth of his classroom, that would be his absolute location. Does everybody understand location? Are there any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, moving on. Places and regions. Places and regions describe the physical aspect of a geographical location and its characteristics. Places define the physical aspects of a geographical location and tells what make them stand out from others. Characteristics of places are divided into two categories. Physical characteristics are things that are created by nature. Who can name something that that is, you know, something that's created by nature? Yeah. Trees. Okay. What else?
Grass.
Grass. Okay. Yeah. What?
Flowers.
What?
Flowers.
Flowers. Okay. Good. Yeah. So what about? Let me give y'all a tougher one. So canyons a lot of the time are created by rivers. The Grand Canyon was created by a river. The Grand Canyon is a physical characteristic of the earth. Okay? Who can tell me what river created the Grand Canyon?
The Ohio River.
No, not the Ohio River. It is named after a state, though.
Can you give us the letter?
Starts with a
Wait,
C.
I got it now.
No, you Googled it.
I did it. Look.
Scroll up.
Canada's a country, my dear.
Canada. I didn't Google it.
All right, you didn't Google it. What is it?
It's the Columbia River. I can't.
What?
Columbia River, yeah.
Columbia River. No.
I didn't even Google it.
All right, it's the Colorado River. The Colorado River, over, you know, I'm not gonna try and say the exact number, but I would say millions of years, cut the Grand Canyon, okay?
I was born in Arizona.
Cut the Grand Canyon. I've never been to the Grand Canyon. I'd like to go though. All right.
There's a lot of traffic.
Human characteristics are marks on the earth or things on the earth that humans have left. So who thinks they can, who wants to tell me something, you know, a human characteristic? Somebody other than Serenity. Jalea, give me a human characteristic. Think of one. What's something that, you know, a big monument that humans have built that you can think of?
TV.
No, not quite. Not like TVs.
That's something really old.
It can be old. Something, you know. Look at the examples. The examples are the Great Pyramids.
People, what y'all live?
Colin?
Pollution and waters?
You know, you could not exactly. You could not exactly. The kind of, yes. Huh? What temples?
I said the ancient temples.
Ancient temples? Yes. You'd want to be a little more specific, but yes, ancient temples. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of their home bounds.
Oh, like the Indian burial mounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Indian burial mounds. One that I've been was thinking was Mount Rushmore. Okay, Mount Rushmore, where we have the faces of the presidents carved. Okay, Mount Rushmore's a good one. So Mount Rushmore. What about the Sphinx is another one. The Colosseum. All right, sign out with that computer.
I'll bet it.
All right, go ahead and pack up, guys. Everybody needs to be packing up.
Please release eighth graders at this time.
Seventh grader.
All right, guys, we don't have to. Everybody needs to pack up. We'll play this game again next class, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like this because it's hard to finish.
That's fine. I'll keep these on. Okay.
We're gonna go You took notes?
I'm gonna have to edit. All right, guys, have a seat so I can dismiss y'all. Everybody have a seat. Sit down. Everybody sit down. Yes. All right. These two roads, y'all can go. They're outside, so these two roads can go. Wait. No, they didn't call you, did they? Oh, yeah, they didn't call you. I'm sorry. Now they did. Come on. Hey, wait, y'all. Those two rows are good. All right. Middle row, come on. Both middle rows, I mean. Come on, middle rows. And last two rows. Go.